but I'm going to have our creator up for the creator corner this week. Nico, if I can invite you up, and let me just do something real quick.
Hey,
Hello,
can
hello,
you hear
hello.
me?
Yes, GM. How are you?
Hey,
Nice to meet you, everybody.
Nice to
Excited
have
for
you on
being
the
here.
show. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate you agreeing to do this, and we appreciate like the amount of effort you put into your interview. I know it's like nobody really wants to sit down and fill out an interview when it comes to doing questions like this, but all of the creators that jump on here, they really do sit down and make sure that they give us the content to work with, and obviously Bio then takes it and creates it in story that we have in front of us. So Nico, if you want to just introduce yourself and we can just go over your story and let people get to know you. Obviously, we know you're part of Sura, a huge
yeah.
gaming org on Ronin Network. But yeah, feel free to introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I I want to say I don't speak English. I think since high school, so if I have some mistake, I hope
That's
you
all good. It's all
forgive me.
good.
Nice. A little introduction of myself. I'm from Argentina. I have 33 years old. I'm pretty young in this world. Um, Yeah, I've what says in the magazine. I've started creating content in 2021, where here in Argentina, the pandemic was really hard. We had like almost a year and a half locked up in our houses, so there was plenty of time to make things, but
Mhm.
only between four walls. So I decided to start creating content. In that moment, I did like Web2 content. Um, I started discovering Axie between other content creators. Like I think most of you have entered this world um, with Axie, or at least the people that did it in 2021. There were more games in
So
that times.
during the
Yeah.
pandemic is when you stumbled on Axie and you found
Yes.
it. Okay, okay. And like,
Indeed.
can you remember, like, was it a certain content creator or did you just stumble on the game itself and you like that was probably your first introduction to a Web3 game, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was a content creator that now I think doesn't make content anymore.
Oh,
He
okay.
was like he was a content creator for like he gave tips for like suggestions for streamers in Twitch how to set up everything,
Oh, cool.
and like he had some scholarships. I wrote to him to start playing, and I got one, and then
Mm-hmm.
started watching that. But
Oh,
it
cool,
was like
cool.
out of context my entry to this world.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, and like, now it's kind of, we're used to Web3 and stuff like that, but I can always like I wasn't around back then, like during Axie and stuff like that, but I can always imagine the kind of light bulb moment that probably went off for a lot of people when they found a game like Axie and they realized that they could play a game and earn from it. So like obviously we see in your interview that you kind of decided to take that and start making educational content surrounding it, which was a really smart idea, I think, on your part to do something like that that early on. Because when you have something new like that, if you start making educational content around it, like, of course, there's going to be hundreds and like thousands of people that are looking for that info because everyone's finding it at the same time. So I think that was a really smart idea by you to go ahead and make educational value information for people surrounding Axie at the start. And it probably really helped you create a following.
Yeah, I think like most of us have so many doubts, including the ones that created content
Mm-hmm.
to help others, and that was a journey that I think it had to happen with a lot of time, because you need time, you need to study to understand everything in Web3. It's not like a simple thing, and I think I was learning during that journey, um, and that also and people also was teaching me. I maybe I uploaded a video, and there was people that was writing in the comments and saying that I was wrong, and I I always say that the key for me to create content is like it's pretty. Someone would say it's pretty the opposite. That you have to listen more than you talk. You
Oh,
have to take
okay.
a lot of suggestions from your people. You have to read, or at least I love to read what they write in the comments, to see how I'm doing those things. Right, I
Yep.
try to make the best content. The easier I upload the info, I think there are least mistakes that can happen for
Mm-hmm.
people. And in a world that we have like money integrated, like in a Web2 game, the educational info I can say is only about the
Yep.
game, maybe the company that's behind the game, but I can go more than that. Here we have money integrating, and that's a pretty complicated thing, because if I
For
say
sure.
something it's wrong, then I can make people lose hundred of dollars, $1,000 of dollars, and that's really complicated.
That's actually
And
something I never took
yeah,
into account, actually, when you're making educational content about these kind of things. That is something that has to be in the back of your mind. And probably especially with Axie at that time, when, from my understanding at least, building teams and doing all that kind of stuff was very, very expensive. So
yeah,
actually, I totally get what you mean, that especially at that time, if you were advising people on certain things and it didn't go their way or whatever, then they would probably be like, "Oh, this guy told me to do this and it wasn't correct."
This is why
yeah,
you have non-financial advice for mid-lead
yeah.
videos.
I sometimes hate that, like non-financial advice, sorry, because it's sometimes it's clearly a financial advice, and with that, like, you wash your hands and like you've never said that. So it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, you have to create a good image around you, because and that means that you have to spend a lot of time taking care of your image. I think like um, it's the most important thing in a content creator, to be trustful, to that people trust in you, that you have your word and you won't change it if A or B happens. And that's pretty important. I think that's also on I taking into account in my whole life, but as a content creator, it's so important. And I want to specify that in this world it's even more important, because transparency is something that we love in Web3, and it can be like, we can make it even stronger if we, like, as content creators, help that important thing in Web3.
I think so too.
um
I think
yeah,
I think that's an important thing to keep at your core if you're making content around these kind of things.
mhm. um I want to keep reading what was in the magazine to
Yeah, no,
like keep the thread.
for sure, for
Mm,
sure. So obviously,
wh-
you remember watching like iconic videos like the launch of Katana and stuff like that. And as I said, that's
yeah.
before my time. But like, have you always kind of stayed with Axie then? Have you ventured into other games on Ronin, or is Axie still your main content thing?
No, yeah, I think Axie is my main content, and it has ever been. I've introduced myself into other games. I played Wild Forest. I played a little bit of Pixels,
Got you.
Machines, Arena Golf. I think I've tried most of them, but then I keep coming back to Axie. I don't leave Axie, but then I do leave the other game. So I think it's meant to be my relationship with Axie. Um, I want to talk a little bit of how I started, like what type of content I started
Yeah, for
creating, and
sure.
what's the best type of content. I think nowadays, like in 2021, stream was even stronger than uploading videos on YouTube. Everybody was at home, so it had plenty of time watching people talk, watching people play. And now it's a little bit different. If you are in, and you can see the stats of Twitch compared with the stats of YouTube compared to 2021. You will see a pretty big decay in Twitch users. So I really started creating, uploading videos. At first, I was not streaming on Twitch. I was streaming on another platform. I don't know if anyone knows it, but it's called Trovo, and it was pretty popular here in Latin America because it paid streamers pretty well without uh, with a little average. So I was also using that in my favor. And and I think the another key of creating content is to have a lot of arms in your content. You have, in my opinion, it's the streaming, uploading videos, even having a Twitter account where you create threads. It gives you a thing that the other one it doesn't give you. So Twitch, maybe it helps you create a community, and it's even closer with the viewer, with the other person, where you
Yeah.
can chat, you can interact like live with everybody that wants to be there.
So Twitch
But
is
it's
your main
yeah,
source of where you stream, right? Like that's,
yeah.
do you have a schedule on there, or is it kind of every now and again, or do you have like a locked in, you're here at certain times every day?
I don't have a schedule, but I like to I like to stream every day. Now that I'm on holidays,
Yeah.
I there's something I didn't say, but I'm going to university now. I study architecture, so
Oh, cool.
there's that consumes me a lot of time also. But of course, it's an investment of my time, and it has to be like time is most important. If you can organize your time, you can schedule right your time. I
Yes.
think everyone can create content. It's There's a lot of work behind the scenes that maybe a common person doesn't think it has. Maybe a streamer he goes live and he streams 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
but there then in YouTube, that's something I want to talk also. There's a lot of work behind the scenes. You have to make the script if you want to make a good video, and of course the evergreen videos that are the videos that are going to it's information that it's going to last for for a long time. That's not, for example, a patch update of Origins. It's like a basic guide how to start in Origins, and that's an evergreen content that is going to last for a while, at least until the the team of
Yeah.
Origins changes a thing. And well, as I was saying, Twitch or streaming is a better way to create your community, but then it's the best way to expand your community. You have to traction the people that is in YouTube to Twitch, and then you can there integrate a lot of more people,
Mm-hmm.
and like use the other socials to make bigger the other ones. And it's like I think the best organic way to keep growing in all your in all your phases.
I think that's super true. I think the power of being a streamer and stuff like that, where you're constantly putting yourself out there, and like, you know, you're streaming every day, you're organically having people come into your stream and sticking around and watching your content, and then if they stick around and watch your stream, chances are they're going to go to your other socials and vice versa. So it's about just having that synergy between your presence online and, you know, as you said, scheduling your time and stuff like that. If you do it correctly, then you will be able to do all those things to a somewhat you know, successful degree. But I do think that what you're doing with the streaming right now is the correct thing. You know, being consistent, streaming on your time off, and prioritizing your time towards that, because that's how you build an audience, and then your audience will obviously move over to X and other platforms and stuff like that, and that's how you just build people watching your content. And like I see at the very end here, it's saying that like your overall dream is to become an Axie ambassador, and I think that's a really cool thing to shoot for, and it seems like you're on the right track for doing that. Because if you keep making the educational content and keep streaming, you know, more and more people are going to be grateful for that. And even if I think this goes for a lot of content creators in Ronin right now, if you feel like your content is kind of stagnating or plateauing because you're just that much known in the Ronin ecosystem already, like there's gonna be a whole new boost coming for you guys with Open Ronin. You're gonna have so many more people coming into the ecosystem for the very first time, right? Like maybe you're doing educational content on Axie and you feel like it may not be getting the traction it used to be, but now it's gonna get a whole new boost because you're gonna have people making new Ronin wallets, jumping on and being like, what the hell is an Axie? Like, how do I play Axie? How do I build a team? So there is even a huge opportunity for you to remake those educational videos for Open Ronin. And think about it like you're wanting to help onboard this new group of people. So there's no harm in remaking some content that you might have made a couple of years ago in 2021 for this new generation of people that are going to be coming onto Ronin.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
I have to tell my secret. Like every year I make the same video, update it.
Of
Like
course.
I made a video how to start an act in 2025, and I've made almost the same with some changes, of course, because we had a lot of changes in classic, we had a lot of changes in origins, but the
Mm-hmm.
basic guide is pretty the same. Now
Yeah.
with running waypoint, it had a clear change that it had to be updated, but you can always like refresh your content. That as I said, the evergreen content is going to be consumed every year, independent of what year it is. So
Yes, exactly.
if you make a good script, I think that you can then reply that also in a Twitter thread. You can reply that in I don't know. You can make like a special stream where you
Yeah,
invite people to play Axie for the first time. So you can also always reply that on the other socials, and that's why it's so important to have like all the opportunities
for
that
sure.
each one gives you.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. Well, this has been awesome. Obviously, guys, if you click on Nico's Twitter, it will take you to his Twitter and stuff like that, so you can go follow him there. My internet is not working right now correctly, but yeah, if you click on his links, it will take you to his platform. My internet is deciding to die. Is the stream still working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the stream is still working. Okay, awesome. But we really appreciate you coming on. And do you have any last things that you want to say to any creators that could be in the audience and stuff like that, getting ready for Open Ronin? Because it seems like you have a pretty solid game plan and structure and stuff like that as far as your Web3 content creation. So do you have any things that you want to say to maybe some up and coming creators?
Yeah, I think the common fear of starting is like the greatest fear sometimes. So make the first step. You will be learning step by step. You have a community and now it will span in with running permissions, and you also have like a running creator program, an active creator program that will support you to with some contests, with some ideas. Also you have to, as I said at the start of this talk, like you have to listen a lot more than you talk. You have to listen advices from other creators, you have to listen advices from your people, and I think that's the best way to start. Make the first step. You will be learning in during the journey, and if you already started, keep going. You can count on me if you have any doubts, if I can help you. And there's a lot of other creators that will be there to help you too. You can also, and I think that's a pretty good advice, you can also consume content that is not from your language. I think it's not easy, but there are a lot of content creators that have like subtitles in their videos. I have, and I speak like English and Portuguese, so I have
Yes.
subtitles in English and Portuguese.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, so like there are other content creators that also have them. Uh, you will always find content that is different from the people that speak English and the people that speak Spanish, Portuguese, and other languages. So like expand the way you learn, listen a lot, and if you didn't make the first step, make it, because I think
It's the hardest
it's
step to
the
make.
yeah, it's the hardest step to make. So
For sure.
you have a friend
Awesome.
in me if you need any help.
That's much appreciated. And on Sunday we will have a refresh of your content page out and stuff like that. So people will be able to go see it again and follow you